presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Baseball is America's pastime, and each year we witness great moments and memories that last a lifetime. But on a day that honors our nation's fallen heroes, we take time to remember what matters most, our freedom, and the men and women who've sacrificed their lives so that we can enjoy this great game. It's a special afternoon at Miller Park. Brewers Cardinals. Memorial Day baseball is next. And we welcome you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Happy Memorial Day to you all. Hoping you're enjoying your friends and your family and the grand old game ready to get going today. It's the Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals, the first of a three-game series. And hi, everybody. We welcome you inside Miller Park. Great to have you with us today. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder. Sophia Minard is our reporter. And Rock, this is a special day, not just because of the baseball season, but it allows a great platform and a great spotlight to be shined on so many terrific military charities as we honor those who have fallen.
Yeah, it's kind of a day of reflection to realize how lucky we actually are to live in this great country, and we are able to do that because of those sacrifices. And you know what? Next time your cable goes out, you're in a long line at the restaurant, think about the ultimate sacrifice. Right. It's not that big a deal. Don't sweat this small stuff. And that's what our nation's heroes have allowed us to do, be here today.
Well, throughout the broadcast, we'll be getting into a number of stories. We got a lot of friends here in the ballpark, and we're looking forward to watching a little baseball today. Brewers Cardinals, division rivals on Memorial Day at Miller Park. Stay with us. We've got the lineups and the first pitch coming up shortly. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Well, what a glorious day it is. The sun shining brightly. The roof is open. Feels like baseball weather. And we've got a Memorial Day special for you today with the Brewers and the Cardinals. Carlos Martinez, an all-star last year. He'll be on the mound for St. Louis. The 24-year-old right-hander. And the 31-year-old rookie, making quite a name for himself in the big leagues right now. Junior Guerra will get the call for the Brewers. He is 3-0. Brewers are 5-0 with him on the mound. Brewers Cardinals coming your way next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. Beautiful day in Milwaukee. And game one of this three-game series with the Redbirds of St. Louis. 78 degrees. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard with you. Dan Keener and Mark Vittorio manning the operations in the truck. Let's take a look at Mike Matheny's St. Louis batting order. It's brought to you by Potawatomi. Matt Carpenter, Aledmus Diaz, Matt Holliday at the top. In the middle it goes Matt Adams, Brandon Moss, and Yadier Molina. And Matheny's got Randall Grichuk, Colton Wong, and Carlos Martinez at the bottom of his starting nine. It is a lineup that will face Junior Guerra, the 31-year-old rookie pitcher.
Yeah, 3-0. All three of his wins have come here at Miller Park. Last time out, a no decision. 5 innings, no runs. Matter of fact, he hasn't allowed a run in 2 of his last 3 appearances, and is making start number 1 against the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's check out the Menards Brewers defense. No Ryan Braun once again. Bad neck. He's out again. So Presley, Broxton, and Flores in the outfield. Perez, Villar, Jeanette, and Carter from third to first, and Jonathan Lucroy back behind home plate.
All the pieces put in place. We're ready to play ball today as the sun shines brightly as Guerra deals to Matt Carpenter. First pitch is up and out, and away we go from Miller Park. Cardinals coming off a series in Washington, D.C. They had a split in that 4-game series, 2 apiece. And the Brewers coming off a series win right here at Miller Park against Cincinnati. There's Mike Matheny, the former Milwaukee Brewer catcher, and a guy that has stepped into the managerial ranks with a lot of success. He's taken his team to the postseason each and every year. He's been the skipper of the St. Louis Cardinals. 5th season now, 4 consecutive years into the postseason for Matheny. And St. Louis coming into play today with a record of 26-25 as Carpenter lines one into center field. Over to cut it off is Neuenhuis, and this game starts with a clean single by Matt Carpenter.
Hey, Cardinals have been swinging the bat a little bit, in particular this guy. This guy is one of the best in the business out of that leadoff spot. And you make a mistake with a fastball, he's not going to miss too many of them. Matt Carpenter reaches with a line drive single to center.
Snaps an 0 for 8 for Carpenter, but since 2013, he's led all major league leadoff hitters in hits and runs, homers, RBIs. He is a force at the top of the lineup. Now a bunt, a good one by Diaz, and no throw by Hernan Perez, and right away the Cardinals are on the attack. A single and an infield hit on a bunt.
My Diaz really having a nice season. Everybody was worried about Johnny Peralta. He's on a disabled list. So what do the Cardinals do? Bring somebody up, and he's hitting well into the 300s and drops down a bunt. First and second, nobody out for the middle of this Cardinals order. No chance to get Diaz at first base.
Going to get a good look in this series at 2 terrific shortstops that are not household names across Major League Baseball, but 2 guys that are performing at an all-star level in Diaz and Jonathan Villar. So Guerra in trouble early. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Matt Holliday now. And a bender in there for a strike.
Fastball, split change, and good curveball by Junior Guerra, and he has thrown the baseball very well. The Brewers have won all 5 of his starts so far this year, so he's been a nice shot in the arm for that rotation.
Now the one theme in all those games, close games, low scoring games for the most part. Big swing by Holliday. 0-2 the count on the big slugger for St. Louis. Guerra's last start against Atlanta went 5 innings of shutout ball. 6 strikeouts in that one. That was the game the Brewers won in 13 innings. So no decision there for Guerra. Long gone by the time that game ended. But a 3-2 win for the Brewers in 13. And 5 shutout innings. Just 84 pitches. Guerra's story is a good one. He is a converted catcher. Has bounced around quite a bit in his career, but was a member of the Atlanta Braves organization as a catcher. That's why that start in Atlanta was special for him. Not only making it to the big leagues, but changing positions and coming all the way back as a pitcher, and then able to face the team that gave him a chance in pro ball to begin with, the Braves. Last year, Guerra got a little time in the big leagues, and I mean just a cup of coffee. 3 cups of coffee to be exact. 3 games, all out of the bullpen. He's been exclusively a starter this year for Milwaukee, and really the move to the starting rotation might be the reason he's here in the major leagues.
Yep, and David Stearns, he picked him up. As a matter of fact, Guerra, the first player move for David Stearns, the Brewers' new general manager. It's worked out pretty well.
He was the first call up from AAA among the starting pitcher ranks. Taylor Youngman was sent down early, and Guerra was the one pitching the best. Stats don't really tell the whole story with Guerra, and they rarely do when you look at statistics from AAA Colorado Springs for pitchers. It's a very tough place to pitch.
He had a .463 earned run average, 0-2, but he got the opportunity and he's taken advantage of it.
3-2 and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Guerra with a fastball had a little something on it at 94 miles an hour.
Yeah, Guerra was walking a tightrope in just about every inning in his last start. That was against the Braves, and they had men on base just about every inning that he was out there. He went 5, threw a lot of pitches in 5 innings, and able to get Carpenter on the pitch pretty much down the middle at the bottom of the zone.
Needed that out. First out of the game. Guerra with 2 on behind him. And Matt Adams coming up. This is the 4th game in this season series with the Cardinals. 19 games on the schedule. And after this series, the Brewers will not see the Cardinals until early July. That'll be in St. Louis. Cardinals took 2 out of 3 from the Brewers earlier this season in St. Louis. That was the first road series of the year for the Brew Crew. Back then, early in the season, Matt Adams was having a hard time finding his way into the lineup. Had a slow spring, and then the personnel that Mike Matheny had put together were all playing well, performing well. Adams on the ground, got a chance to turn it here. Jeanette to VR, fires to first, not in time. Matt Adams.
Well, you know the Brewers are going to take a look at that. Every close play is reviewed in that clubhouse. There's Craig Counsell having that top step. And if you want to get a double play, this is the guy to get it against. And a little bit slow for Jeanette on that shovel over to VR. Not sure why it took him so long, but he did get the out at second. And pretty close, but it looks like he might have beat it.
A good look at it here. Foot on the bag and ball in the glove. Craig Counsell has waved off a potential challenge. Challenges have been part of the storyline here on this homestand in that 3-game series with the Reds. Brewers winning 2 out of 3 against Cincinnati. So it goes from a chance to end the inning with a double play. Now it's 1st and 3rd. And Brandon Moss coming up. St. Louis has 3 lefties in their lineup today. Make it 4, I beg your pardon. 4 left-handed hitters in their starting 9. One more look at it. This will be the best angle of it. Foot on the bag, not in the glove. So the right call for Craig Counsell not to burn a challenge.
And this possible review brought to you by
If These Walls Could Talk, written by Bill Schroeder. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we got to get that sponsored.
I thought we were only sponsoring challenges, not. I didn't know we were looking at potential challenges.
Oh, that's a different pile of money altogether.
Man, are we selling some books now? I'll be expecting a free copy at some point.
You got one.
Ball and a strike, and a swing and a miss. 1 and 2. So the point, Rock, about the 4 lefties in the lineup, we haven't seen enough of Junior Guerra to determine whether his split change is more effective against righties or lefties, but it seems in theory that it would be more effective against left-handed hitters.
Right, the off-speed stuff is a lot more effective against the lefties, at least the change-ups. And you know, his split change acts a lot like a change-up, not like your conventional split-fingered fastball. So it's been effective against both, really.
It's a good old-fashioned forkball is what it is. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and Moss lays off. Guerra has been extremely poised, obviously being in the pro game as long as he has, and being a catcher, getting a completely different perspective than what he's experiencing now, gives him a little comfort on the mound. Native of Venezuela. 2-2, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Guerra. Some high pressure pitches early. 2 on, nobody out. Both left stranded. We're off and running on Memorial Day. Brewers coming up against the Redbirds. inning at Miller Park. Brewers coming up against St. Louis. There's Craig Counsell. See the players wearing their Army camo hats today. Those are cool looking caps, by the way. They'll be auctioned off after this game. Potawatomi batting order for the Brew Crew. It is VR, Jeanette, and Lucroy. Chris Carter, Kirk Neuenhuis, Alex Presley in the middle with Hernan Perez, Ramon Flores, Junior Guerra rounding it out. Noticeably absent is Ryan Braun. Sophia will have more on that later. And Rock, it is Carlos Martinez, who was an all-star last year and got off to a great start in the month of April, but May has not been kind.
Yeah, he's lost 5 in a row in the month of May after a 4-0 April. And certainly a lot of issues right now with Martinez, and the most obvious has been the location and inconsistency with throwing strikes.
Martinez, just 24 years of age, cruising speed at 94 to get us started here in the bottom of the first. He has an electric arm, and you usually see his best fastballs when he's angry. That's when he'll get it up there in the 97, 98 miles an hour range. And I actually think the Brewers would like to see that today, because they're doing something to get him angry.
Yeah, the other thing he has does a pretty good job of is his changeup. I mean, the last time we saw Martinez, there's the pitch right there, that change. So once you start squeezing the sawdust out of that handle, trying to get on top of that big fastball, he's going to drop the changeup on you.
Jonathan VR back in the leadoff spot. What a player he has been for the Brewers. And a swing and a miss. Down he goes on strikes. That one rolls in at 97. And right away you're seeing the velocity that is always a factor with Carlos Martinez.
Yeah, basically a 4-pitch pitcher, but a lot of fastballs, a lot of changeups. He will flip up a curveball and a slider, but he can bring it. And it's just a matter of whether he's going to be able to throw enough strikes. He gets behind in the count. He's got to commit with the fastball, and that's when he's been getting hit. Last time out against the Cubs, 5 innings, 6 earned runs against the Cubbies.
Martinez facing Scooter Gennett. Right off the end of the bat, and took a bounce off the hill and had to redirect it a little bit to Diaz. He still gets Gennett for the second out of the inning. 2 quick ones, 5 pitches, 2 outs for Martinez.
Yeah, that changeup, you see Scooter right off the end of the bat, hit the side of the mound, and making that play a little tougher. But able to get it done. Let's check out the Menards Cardinals defense. Believe it or not, the Cardinals lead all of baseball in errors this year. 44 miscues. Aledmus Diaz at shortstop has 11 of them. And Matt Carpenter's been kicking it around with 7 errors. Holliday, Grichuk, and Moss in the outfield, and the terrific backstop, Yadier Molina behind home plate.
No, and it is, we mentioned the matchup of shortstops in this series, names you might not know, but these 2 catchers, these all-star catchers, are certainly names you do know. A couple of years ago, Jonathan Lucroy broke Yadier Molina's Major League or National League record for doubles in a season, and then Lucroy would go on to break the Major League record that was held by Pudge Rodriguez.
And to say nothing about the way they catch. I mean, defensively, they kind of take control back there. Molina having a good year at the plate, and so is Jonathan Lucroy.
And that gold patch on his chest protector is there for a reason. Multiple gold gloves and the Platinum Glove Award winner. Broken bat, slow roller out to third. Carpenter's got it, and that will retire the side. A 7-pitch first inning. Impressive start for Carlos Martinez.
at Miller Park. We certainly wish you a happy Memorial Day wherever you're observing the day. And the Brewers are without the bat of Ryan Braun for the second straight day. It is neck stiffness, the same injury as yesterday, keeping out of today's lineup. And Craig Counsell said that Braun was feeling a little bit better today. He'll continue to get treatment and will be day to day. So we'll see if he's back in the lineup tomorrow. BA and Rock.
All right, Sophia, thanks. And also an update on the Cardinals. A late scratch in the lineup. Stephen Piscotty, one of their big bats, is out of the lineup today with an upset stomach. So Piscotty's out. Braun is out. Two guys you'd like to watch hit a little bit, not in the lineup today. Piscotty is on the bench, and I would imagine he'd be available to pinch hit today, but he's under the weather and unavailable to start this one.
Yeah, giving Brandon Moss an opportunity out in right field. He's got 9 home runs, so bench is fairly deep for the Cardinals.
Yadier Molina leads off for St. Louis, second inning. Cardinals' first 2 hitters reached on hits, a single by Carpenter and then a bunt single by Diaz. Guerra left 2 stranded, though. He puts up another 0, and stranding runners, specifically runners with scoring in scoring position, has been a big part of his success.
Yeah, last time out against the Braves, he threw 5 innings, did not allow a run, but there were men on base. The Atlanta Braves 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position in those 5 innings. Well, Cardinals are 0 for 3 already today.
Yeah, you don't want to necessarily have 9 at-bats with a runner in scoring position in 5 innings, but Guerra was able to get through a few jams. He'd like some clean innings here. Well, everything he does is a bonus. Certainly not in the plans, not in the grouping of starting pitchers that you thought you'd see early in the season. But he opened up some eyes in spring training. And then there was the decision to make him a starting pitcher, which they felt was going to actually help him get into a routine, have a side session between starts, utilize maybe his best skill, and that's his thinking skills as a catcher, used to game planning and preparing for a lineup, and that's what he's been able to show here for Craig Counsell and the Brewers.
Well, that's been working. Whatever he's been doing, don't change it.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Molina.
And what was really impressive about him, talking about Guerra in spring training, was his velocity. I mean, he really wasn't a whole lot of talk about the split change because you really didn't see him a whole lot. But when he came out there, he would work out of the bullpen in spring training. He could bring it, 96, 97 miles an hour. And he can still touch mid-90s with that heater.
Count goes full on Molina. Yadier coming off a series against Washington where he had just 1 hit, 1 for 11 in that series against the Nationals. Steven Strasburg won the game yesterday against St. Louis. He was dynamite. He's 9-0 now. And the Nationals able to salvage a split in that series, 2 apiece. Molina, a little lazy pop-up into right field. Flores will make the play. Good battle there. Ins in and out. And 1 away. So the best team record when a pitcher starts, the aforementioned Strasburg, his team is 11-0. He is 9-0 personally. Junior Guerra's on the list. And everybody's scrambling to Baseball Reference saying, who's Junior Guerra?
Right, yep.
Pretty good names in that grouping.
Clayton Kershaw, not too bad, 10-1.
Won again last night. Arrieta off to a fantastic start as well. Swing and a miss from Randal Grichuk. He dropped in the order, hitting 7th today for Mike Matheny. He destroyed the Brewers in that first series. Had 5 hits in that series. Guerra puts another one by him.
And before that series, he couldn't buy a hit. He was really scuffling, but he found it against Milwaukee at Busch Stadium.
That was early in April. First road trip of the year for the Brewers. Right back to Guerra. Handles his position well. Those good hands that made him a good catcher. Flags it down for out number 2.
Yeah, got to have good soft hands when he catch. But he really does put himself in pretty good position to field after he gets rid of it. Doesn't really fall off too badly and squares his shoulders and able to make the catch.
So 2 men are out for Colton Wong. Wong's been a struggling hitter. Hitless in the series against Washington. 0 for 6. They've been moving him all around the batting order, trying to find a good spot for him. He did hit leadoff last week. But Matheny's got some big decisions to make. Johnny Peralta, their injured shortstop, is coming back soon. He had a bit of a setback, had a thumb injury, and then the setback was he cut his finger opening up a box. So he's not going to be back as fast as they'd hoped. But rocked the way Aledmus Diaz is playing, you can't take him out of the lineup. So Wong might be the odd man out when Johnny Peralta returns.
Yeah, well, he's got to start getting it going. I mean, the Cardinals offensively haven't been all that bad. I mean, they're second in the league in homers. And the reason that they're only a game over 500, they're pitching. Surprising that the Cardinals really haven't been pitching all that well this year. Starting rotation, bullpen, bottom half in the National League in team earned run average.
Liner right to Scooter Gennett, one second baseman to the other. 3 up and 3 down for Junior Guerra.
The first of 3 against the Cardinals. And Free Shirt Fridays return to Miller Park on Friday, June 10th, as Brewers take on the defending National League champs, New York Mets. And all fans get a free Bernie's Chalet t-shirt, courtesy of CertaPro Painters. There's Brewers.com for tickets.
There's a good shot of the old chalet and slide at County Stadium. Little different look to it these days at Miller Park. Bernie would love to hit that slide a few times today. He goes down on home runs, and here's a guy that's in a home run drought. Chris Carter. Carter has 13. He's still among league leaders in that category. And he lines one into left center, base hit. That's a good start for him. Over to cut it off is Holliday. He'll hold Carter to a single, the first Brewers hit to start this second inning.
Yeah, got one out over the plate, and Carter able to center on that fastball. He's got a good fastball, does Carlos Martinez. Just snapping 0 for 15. And a nice line drive into the gap. Holliday getting it back quickly.
Kirk Neuenhuis now back in center field. Craig Counsell stacking his lineup with lefties as well. And really has no choice with Ryan Braun out and Domingo Santana on the disabled list as far as his outfielders go. Got a lefty in Presley due next. 4 lefties and a switch hitter. Jonathan VR in Council's starting 9 today against the hard-throwing right-hander Martinez. Neuenhuis on the ground. The shift is on. Coming in, Wong puts the tag on. Bad throw, but a tag there. Double play.
Yeah, double tag right there. A nice play over there at second base by Wong. He got Carter going by and then able to get a throw off to first base, and Matt Adams with a tag. And not a whole lot you can do. You can maybe stop, try to get out of the way. Looks like you got him on the jersey, out of the baseline anyway. And they turn a double play.
One of those strong hands of Matt Adams. Often you see a play like that, the ball will go shooting out of the glove down the right field line. The Brewers took a quick look. Tags in both spots. Council has not found a play he can challenge just yet. That near challenge is brought to you by Rock's new book, If These Walls Could Talk.
No, we just have to find a legitimate sponsor that's willing to pay money.
Until that time.
If These Walls Could Talk is not that company.
If These Walls Could Talk,
yeah.
Written by Bill Schroeder and Drew Olson, is just a placeholder right now. It's just a placeholder is all.
That's good, though, isn't it?
Alex Presley with 2 away. Getting another start in left field. Ryan Braun, as Sophia mentioned, out with a neck strain. So the wrist has shelved him, a bad back, and now a bad neck, missing his 3rd consecutive start. Presley dumps one into left field, a base hit.
Yeah, and in Braun's absence, I mean, the Brewers have done pretty well. I mean, they've won 5 of the last 6 games. They're going into today, and Alex Presley, the more playing time he gets, you figure the better he's going to be able to swing the bat. He got a base hit yesterday, a double down the line and left, and drops one in front of Holliday today.
Holliday mostly playing left field these days. When we saw him earlier in the season, he was at first base. He's had 5 starts at first, none of them since May 15th.
That's when remember Jeremy Hazelbaker, how hot he was to start the season. Mike Matheny just couldn't get him out of the lineup. So Hazelbaker was out in left, Holliday at first, and Matt Adams was the odd man out.
Hernan Perez with a man on. Well, here's a guy on a nice little run right now for the Brewers. Talk about a player making the most of his opportunities. Lost that chance last year, was taken off the major league roster after the season. Got invited to big league camp. He decided to re-sign with the Brewers on a minor league deal and hit so well they put him back on the big league roster, and he is cashing in big time. Back in the lineup once again today.
All he's done is hit .313, 12 RBIs, and has done a really good job in the field.
Over his last 10 games, he has 12 hits and 7 runs batted in the last 10 games. Drove one in yesterday with a double off the wall. A wave and a miss. Down he goes. The inning is over. The Brewers strand a runner. It is Memorial Day. It's a day to remember. It's a day to celebrate with family and friends. Mostly, it's a day to celebrate our freedom. Put up that sunscreen. Good to do it on a day like this. No score as we go to the third. Hey fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app, take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. Great to have you with us today on this Memorial Day in Milwaukee. And Junior Guerra back on the mound. The pitcher, Carlos Martinez, is at the plate, and he's always entertaining with a bat in his hands.
He takes a hack. He's done a pretty good job. 222. In some circles, that's considered pretty good.
That is, in the context of the pitcher. I feel like a 200 batting average for a pitcher is like a 300 batting average for a position player.
Yeah, you can keep it up. I mean, you can continue that kind of success.
You're saying maybe he's just hot right now and he might not have the staying power required to maintain a 200 batting average.
Well, he takes a healthy hack, I will say that. I mean, he doesn't get cheated up there.
2-1. Ground ball to VR. Tough hop. Easy play.
He can swing it, but he can't run too well.
No, he's got to save that energy, man. He and his catcher. So 1 away. Guerra has been able to retire every batter since allowing the first 2 to reach via hit. Matt Carpenter started the game with a single to center, hit it hard, and then Diaz with a bunt single. 7 in a row since.
You wonder when it all started, when pitchers didn't have to run, right? It wasn't that long ago where relief pitchers were brought in a golf cart so they didn't have to expend any energy to get to the mound.
That's right.
Remember those days?
We still have that golf cart down in the
it's not that
storage
long ago.
area.
It's not that long ago. I mean, where's Todd Coffey when you need him?
Would sprint his way into the game from the bullpen.
Remember Lee Smith, how long it took him to get in?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Ball and a strike on Carpenter. By the way, I saw Lee Smith in Arizona during spring training.
Really?
And I would consider that a baseball mecca in March, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Arizona.
Right.
Teams everywhere, baseball fans everywhere. Looking out of this restaurant, it was a pizza place, and there were fans in uniforms of different teams who had been to games, and not one person recognized Lee Smith.
Yeah.
And he looks the same.
Right. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes, right?
Of course, I went up and bugged him to death while he was eating, so I made up for it for everybody else.
Yeah. I thought you might have saw him at a golf course or something.
Well, that'd be a good bet. This was at a pizza place. Big Lee. Little foul ball there by Carpenter. Stays alive. 2-2. I always think about Lee Smith when we look at the shadows. Those shadows at Wrigley Field, those late afternoon games, man, he made a career taking advantage of those shadows, and he was great anyway. But
just wild enough to keep you honest.
Did he go? They'll ask. He did not. That's a crew chief over there, Ted Barrett. Excellent umpire. Boxing champion. Calling the balls and strikes today is Lance Barksdale. Angel Hernandez and Will Little, the other 2 umpires. Carpenter again. Almost the same spot.
Well, he got a split change up in the strike zone that time after being able to check his swing on that 2-2 count. And you see that split change. That's not where you want to leave it. You don't want to leave it up in the zone like that. But Guerra wanted to throw it for a strike, left it up, and Carpenter now 2 for 2.
Carpenter aboard for Aledmus Diaz, who bunted his way on with a single last time up. Perfect bunt down the third base line. Look out. Shot foul. Off the tarp. That never needs to be used. Diaz hitting .327 after his bunt single. High on base percentage of nearly .360. Slugging percentage over .550. He's got an OPS of .913 coming into this at bat. Those are strong numbers.
It's amazing how the Cardinals just continue to find guys to fill in for guys that are hurt. I mean, Peralta, the Cardinals were thinking that was going to be a huge loss coming into the season with that injury, and it probably still is a loss as far as home runs go, but it lets Diaz with 7. Hitting in the 320s. Piscotty, Grichuk, guys like that, they seem to find him every year.
Little tapper, going to be a tough play. Perez bare hands, fires, and it's up the line off the facing of the camera well. And that'll be an error that allows Carpenter to third base.
And it's probably going to be a hit and an error. I would think that that's got to be a hit. We'll see. But an error allowing Carpenter to get the third. A swinging bunt this time. The tough part of the play is grabbing the baseball with the hand, and maybe didn't have really a good grip, and it kind of airmails it off the mark. Good throw gets him, but it's going to be a hit and an error.
Infield single. And then an E5, first and third with 1 out. And Matt Holliday will bat. He struck out with 2 men on last time up, and he'll hit again with 2 on. Holliday in his 13th major league season, a 7-time All-Star. And a line drive off the glove of Perez into left. In to score is Carpenter. A hot shot. Perez couldn't handle it.
Now if he gets it, it's going to be a double play. You're at third or at first. And a tough break for Guerra. That's that split change. It stayed in. Check it out. I mean, he grabs that. It's going to be a double play. Maybe to go to first base, but it's going to be a run in. So the error cost Guerra a run.
Yeah, just by him.
Kind of mistimed his leap a little bit, and he thought he had it in his glove. Just missed it.
And so Holliday with a base hit. Cardinals have 5 hits now, 3 in a row here in the 3rd inning. First and second with 1 out for Matt Adams. Little spinner in there for a strike. Cardinals, the division winners last year in the National League Central. Eventually losing to the Cubs in the division series in 4 games. They just ran into a buzzsaw in the Chicago Cubs last year. Great pitching.
And the Cardinals already 9.5 games back, only 1 game over 500.
In the air to left. Presley going back at the track, and he can't make the play. It's over his head. A run is in. Holliday to third.
I'm not sure what happened there. That's got to be caught. And Presley kind of drifting back on that baseball, but it kept carrying. It seemed like it carried pretty well, but he just flat missed it. Well, ball carrying pretty well. That ball off the end of the bat a little bit for Adams. That's how strong he is. That ball just keeps carrying it in left field. And that's one that's got to be caught right there. He just misjudges it. And a run in.
Well, with no Ryan Braun in the lineup, the everyday left fielder comes back to bite him here today. Presley fighting the sun a little, but
he just
play that has to be made.
He just wasn't under it. He jumped but wasn't under it, and the ball landed to his right.
Well, Guerra could have a much better fate here in this inning. A quick trip to the mound from Lucroy and his pitching coach Derek Johnson. 2 runs are in, 4 straight hits, and the Cardinals have him at second and third with 1 out. Brandon Moss, a strikeout victim in the first. Brewers going to bring their infield in here. It's an infield in and it's a shift.
And a lot of room on that left side. Only Perez on the left side, and Moss more of a fly ball hitter as opposed to ground balls. If he's going to hit a ground ball, he's going to pull it most of the time.
Oh, and 2 the count on Moss. Guerra in trouble in the first, able to get out of it. 2 have come in here in the third. Could have had a better fate. Missed with a fastball. Cardinals got Moss last year from the Indians. He's bounced around a lot. Boston, Pittsburgh. He's been with the Phillies, the A's. And then prior to his stop here in St. Louis, Cleveland.
A good guy to have on your bench when you're looking to go to the postseason. A guy that can come off the bench, give you a home run, give you a good at bat, play first, outfield.
Had hip surgery a couple of years ago. It set him back a little bit. 2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. Ball gets by Lucroy. Everybody's going to be safe on a strikeout. And it is all going bad for the Brewers right now. These are plays that should be made, could be made. The line drives, the deep fly ball by Adams, the slow roller, and now this one.
Yep. And you don't see Jonathan Lucroy do this very often. A wild pitch, give him a strikeout and a wild pitch. No RBI, but a run scores, 3-0. And Guerra really has not been helped too much by his defense, but there's only 1 error on the board.
So he does pick up his 3rd strikeout, but still just 1 out for Yadier Molina. Runners at the corners. All of this coming with 1 out. First batter was the pitcher Martinez, who grounded out. And this one's on the ground. Should be 2. VR, Jeanette in time. Double play. Guerra keeps battling, gets out of the inning, but 3 runs score, and the Cardinals are up early on Memorial Day. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Panels are open. The roof is open. A little bit of wind coming through Miller Park. Cardinals just scored 3 runs in the 3rd inning. And the Brewers will have to play from behind today to their division rivals. Ramon Flores will lead off for Milwaukee. And then Junior Guerra. Then to the top of the order, Jonathan Villar. See if they can get something going here against Carlos Martinez. Brewers did have 2 hits last inning, but a double play wiped out one of the base runners and then a strikeout to end the inning. Martinez has good stuff going early.
And that's all he really has to worry about, is being able to command his stuff. He's always got good stuff, just a matter of putting it where he wants it. He's been getting pounded his last 5 appearances, but it seems like he's been able to settle down a little bit here today. He's always pitched well against the Brewers. This is his 16th game, but his 5th start. He's got a 134 earned run average over all those appearances.
14-7 last year. In 29 starts, he made the All-Star team. Cardinals lost John Lackey to free agency. He signed with the Cubs. They lost Lance Lynn at Tommy John surgery. Hard hit ball, but right at the shortstop Diaz. And a high throw again, safe. No tag that time from Adams. Adams has been active over at first, but he couldn't get the tag down that time on a bad throw from the shortstop.
Yeah, he just dropped his arm, and that was a terrible throw by Diaz. I mean, that's about as routine as it gets. Now watch the arm. Watch the arm, how much it goes down. He just didn't get a good grip on that baseball for some reason. That's going to be his 12th error. You mentioned that the Cardinals lead all of baseball in errors. They've got now 45 errors. 12 of them coming from Diaz.
We saw the ball pop out of the glove a little bit for Adams. Mike Matheny is asking his replay team to take a look at this. And ball definitely moved to the end of his glove. I don't know if it was because of, oh no, he missed him. Totally missed him. Good angle there. And that's all Mike Matheny needed to see.
Yeah, good call over there by Angel Hernandez, the first base umpire. He saw it right there.
So the Brewers catch a break. They get a man on. Junior Guerra, the Brewer pitcher, up there to bunt. And he pops it up. Shows bunt early. He gets it down. A beauty. That's how you do it. And a lob throw by Martinez for out number 1. That'll be a sacrifice for Guerra, advancing Flores to second base.
Yeah, Matt Adams is finally saying, finally a good throw to first base. Thank you very much. That's a nice bunt by Junior Guerra. Gets that bat head out in front, drops it down there nicely. And a little lollipop over to first base.
Would that be considered steering the ball to first?
Kind of guiding it a little bit.
So it's a sacrifice. The Brewers now to the top of the order with Jonathan Villar. He's been one of the hottest. I guess we could stop saying he's hot, actually. Just start saying he's good.
Yeah, he's off to a great start.
2 hits yesterday.
Probably been the Brewers' most consistent hitter.
And he's playing every day. He's only missed 3 games. He started all but 3 at the shortstop position. Came to the Brewers from the Astros via trade last year. And I think the idea was, well, he'll be a guy to hold that position until Orlando Arcia comes to the big leagues. But he's playing his way into a regular role wherever that may be.
He might be holding down shortstop until Arcia gets here, but there's other positions in that infield that he could very well take over, no doubt. And when you talk about the most consistent hitter for the Brewers, obviously Ryan Braun hitting over 360, but with him out of the lineup, I mean, VR is certainly the guy that's been the most consistent all year from beginning to this point.
And now he has taken over that leadoff spot. Domingo Santana had a shoulder injury, tried to play through it. They put VR in the leadoff spot, and he is taken to that position well. Doesn't look like he's going to give up on that position either. It's his 22nd start as the leadoff hitter. Martinez has his number, though. He's swung and missed 4 times now in his first 2 at-bats. He has 2-2 now.
Yeah, that last one, fastball at 97.
He's got the one he wants from Molina. Runner at second. Brewers down 3-0 early to the Cardinals, and they are able to lay off.
How much do you think Martinez actually shakes off Molina? I don't think too much. I don't think any of these guys shake Molina off all that much. Do it at your own peril.
Full count now. Outside, ball 4.
A changeup.
Well, he does have a high walk percentage and able to lay off a tough pitch. First and second now with Scooter Gennett coming up. Our Carsoup.com trivia today. Who is the only player drafted from a service academy by the Brewers?
That's a good one.
Yeah, there's only one. He's in the Brewers minor league system.
So I take it you know who it is?
I know there's one. I don't know who it is.
Okay.
Two on, 1 out. Gennett at the plate. And he had a good cut. He fouls it back. Big spot for the Brewers. Maybe a chance. Had an error that allowed Flores to reach. First walk issued by Martinez. You got Jonathan Lucroy on deck. Little flare on the run. Carpenter, and he can't get it just out of his reach. Terrific effort by the Cardinal third baseman.
Yeah, just not able to get there. Missed it by a few inches. And Scooter Gennett's still alive. Couple of men on, maybe by a foot. Kind of strange looking at the Cardinals uniforms without any red, except for the spikes, the sleeves.
Now the Memorial Day camo all across Major League Baseball.
Yep, the belt.
They'll, by the way, these jerseys and hats will be up for auction. They'll be authenticated after the game and then available for various charities. Scooter in a hole, 0-2. Looking for a mistake here from Martinez.
That was a mistake location wise, but it was 99 miles an hour.
Let's see what he has in mind here. Count remains 0-2 on Gennett. A long pause by Martinez. And Scooter bounces it foul. He's trying to protect himself up there, down 0-2.
Yeah, shorten that stroke up a little bit. That's what you try and do against Martinez, particularly with 2 strikes. Slowest pitch he's thrown, Jeanette, in this at bat, 97 miles an hour, all fastballs. You don't need to overswing to hit one hard when he's throwing that much. Got that velocity going.
We'll do it again. Another 0-2 pitch. And time is asked for and granted.
Yeah, by his catcher.
Yeah, that came from Molina. You could see the home plate umpire come out and point to Molina.
So he's going to go out and talk to Martinez. Sometimes the pitcher get a little bit irritated. And Martinez a reputation for losing his temper a little bit. Scooter Jeanette ready, but his catcher calling timeout. Well, I got to calm him down.
Yeah, that's good. He's the first one to say, look, that's not me.
Don't get mad at me.
No, you got a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Keep that one away from me.
Don't whistle that over my head. That's not on me. Your reputation precedes you when the whole infield comes down to calm you down, right?
Yeah, that's probably not a great sight. But they know how volatile he can be. No balls, 2 strikes again. 2 on, 1 out for the Brewers. And there's that little changeup that missed. He wanted that call, or at least wanted the swing.
Both.
Ooh, just missed. Went back to it.
Yeah, another one back to back. Doubled up on the changeup. He threw Jonathan Villar a 3-2 changeup. He's got a lot of confidence in that pitch. He and Molina.
From 0-2 to 2-2, and Jeanette gets under one. Shallow left center. That's going to be GRICHUK to make the call. Well, it gave him a good fight, but Jeanette is retired. Second out of the inning now.
Back-to-back changeups. You know, hardest one at 89, so he reaches back and gives him 98. That's a big difference in speed, but Scooter able to get a piece of it, just popped it up.
Now Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy's been on a nice run here lately. Matter of fact, he is on an historic run for the franchise. Lucroy's had 3 consecutive 3 RBI games, joining Robin Yount as the only player in franchise history to do it.
Yeah.
Yount did it in 1987. There were lots of streaks that year in 1987.
Team streak, right? I don't remember it, but I was there for it.
Well, it was the 3rd week of July.
Yeah, well, sorry.
If you can't pinpoint the 3rd week of July 1987 right now.
Yeah, that was in the midst of milder streaks, so don't remember.
2 on, 2 out. Lucroy, the best the Brewers have in spots like this.
Do you think Yount remembers that? I bet he doesn't.
I bet it.
No.
No?
No way.
3 RBI games?
All the stuff he's done?
That's a good point.
Now, if I did that, I'd certainly remember.
Sure.
A little different, though.
I remember almost doing that in a Little League game once. And it was also about 1987, I think. No.
Funny.
Foul out of play. Lucroy on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Martinez is just in its easy cheese, too. He is bringing it on a warm day.
Could you ask for a better day today?
Perfect.
Gorgeous. Upper 70s. Got a breeze blowing.
You get the best of both worlds here at Miller Park, too. You get some shade in half the stadium, a little sun in the other half. You can always find some shade if you need to, as Martinez hits the corner. Another 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 2-2 now. 2-2. Runners dancing off the bags. And Lucroy late, 99 that time.
Think about that fastball from Martinez. It's pretty straight. I mean, there's not a lot of movement on it, but doesn't have to have a lot of movement when you're throwing as hard as he has been. And then you always have in the back of your mind that changeup is a good one. That changeup has plenty of movement going away from left-handed hitters.
Saw him nod there to Molina as if he wanted something outside, get something outside, and it's a ball.
Kind of dropped down a little bit. Maybe that's what that nod was about. Drop down, put a little movement on it, 89 miles an hour.
Well, Jeanette and Lucroy are giving some good battles here. 26 pitches in this inning for Martinez. So after he breezed through the first inning, Brewers have made him work here. Second time through the batting order. Full count, 2 outs. Runners take off, and Lucroy takes a call at strike 3. That was nasty. 87-mile-an-hour slider. Lucroy had no shot. Inning is over. Brewers still trail 3-0.
A 3-0 lead here at Miller Park over the Brewers. Sophia Minert back here at Miller Park. Pleased to be joined now by Lieutenant Colonel Lynn Talg. She serves in the U.S. Army, and thank you so much, first of all, for your service here on Memorial Day. Why don't you share a little bit about your military background and your decision to serve in the U.S. Army?
Well, it started way back in college when I took some leadership courses in ROTC, and I really wanted to serve my country, so I just continued on, and next year it'll be 30 years.
An incredible 30 years of service, and you do travel abroad, your unit right now in Germany. Can you tell us a little bit about your time as an instructor abroad?
Yeah, I'm an instructor over in Grafenwehr, Germany for the Warrior Training Battalion, and I'm so happy to do that. It's a very unique experience. I get to travel all the time, which is just a big perk for me.
And you do balance home life. You're from Wausau. You're here with your family. Your husband, Dean, also retired Army. Your children. How do you balance the military and civilian parts of your life with the help of the USO Wisconsin?
Well, that is very delicate balance right there. I'm very happy to say that the USO is a great organization and very humble, really. They're always there for us as a military service member and a military family. They're always, welcoming us home, bringing us to great events like this.
You had the opportunity to throw first pitch, one of the ceremonial first pitches to Chase Anderson. What was that experience like for you?
That was awesome. I've never been on the field before, so it was pretty cool. And seeing the Brewers, right up like that was great.
All right. Well, Lynn, thank you so much for joining us here today, for your service and for your family as well, your husband, Dean, and Guys, it's military families like the Talgs that keep this country running. Their son Derek will also enlist in Army ROTC at Marquette University. So very grateful, very appreciative to families like the Talgs for their service.
All right, thank you, Sophia. Thanks for sharing that story and introducing us to Lieutenant Colonel Talg. And
great stuff.
Brave woman. And we salute all the brave men and women that keep us safe as we honor those who have perished.
Everybody has a job to do in the military, and they're all heroes.
All part of the Memorial Day activities here. One out in the Cardinal fourth. Colton Wong at the plate. Rock, you went over next door. Pretty good opportunity for you this morning that we were proud of you for doing, and looked like a nice ceremony over there at the Wood Cemetery.
Yeah, it's the laying of the wreath ceremony, and it's something that they do every day. And you know, we had a lot of neat things happening over there. The release of the balloons for some local missing in action, you know, military personnel, and you know, the bands were playing. And you know, it's not so much that I did them a favor. I mean, they did me a favor by being a part of this event. What a cool event! Very emotional. We heard from a veteran of the Vietnam War. He spoke very candidly about some of his friends that he lost over there, and the reason why we're all here, and you know, the significance of the day that we have today, Memorial Day, remembering those that lost their lives to allow us to do what we do up here, and you know, broadcast baseball, play baseball, watch baseball, just enjoy freedoms.
Great job over there today. Good for you for doing that, as Guerra strikes out Wong. Back-to-back Ks for Junior Guerra.
And both of them coming on the split change. You got Randal GRICHUK on the split change, and now Colton Wong. Guerra could use a quick inning here.
Cardinals scored 3 last inning. And now Martinez swings at the first pitch. A pop-up in the infield. VR is under it. He's got it, and that will retire the side. He needed a quick one. He got one. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. Brewers down 3. As we head to the bottom of the fourth inning, a 3-run third for St. Louis. And now let's check out our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball. A lot going on this Memorial Day weekend. John Lackey yesterday against the Phillies. The former Cardinal went 7 innings with 1 run and just 97 pitches. 5th straight win for the Cubs. They are now 20 games over 500, the best record in baseball. That Fort Bragg project is really cool to follow. We're going to play a 4th of July game, a big league game between the Marlins and the Braves at the world's largest military base. And that field is under construction. And how about David Wright?
Yeah.
Out with a neck injury. Ryan Braun with a neck injury as well. Wright missing his third consecutive game for the Mets. Have you seen that Fort Gregg field?
I have not.
It's pretty cool. It's they've got a little over a month to get it ready, and they're making great progress there. And as Chris Carter in the air to left, ball's got some carry. Holliday is back. He's at the wall, and he's got it for the out. Took him back to the fence. Carter just missed it on the bat, and one away here on the first pitch of the fourth inning.
Yeah, it's good that Major League Baseball wants to do that. Do it at a military installation, Fort Bragg, and good for them. Yeah, just a little bit off the end of the bat, and that's all it took to keep this ball in the ballpark. Sounded pretty good, but a little bit off the end, and Matt Holliday bangs up against the left field wall.
Carlos Martinez appreciative of that effort by his left fielder. Well, Matt Holliday's never been known as a good left fielder, but one thing you can count on, he's not afraid of a wall. He's bigger than the wall.
Wall's afraid of him.
Neuenhuis shows bunt, takes a strike.
He is out there every single day. He doesn't need too many days off. He's had some injuries in his career, but one of those guys that finds a way to stay out there.
And a wave and a miss. There's that changeup by Martinez.
Yeah, that experiment over at first base didn't last very long, and we were there when Matt Holliday was playing first base at Busch Stadium, that series against the Brewers. He got the job done over there, I'll say, but did not look very comfortable.
No errors, 5 games. Last played a game at first base at May 15th, and if you ask Mike Matheny, he'll tell you we keep our options available over there. So, but I think ideally Matheny would rather have Matt Holliday right where he is today in left field.
And so would Matt.
2-2 to Neuenhuis. Little chopper foul. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It was amazing when the Brewers went in there to Busch Stadium. I mean, everybody talking about Jeremy Hazelbaker and anointing him as one of those guys that the Cardinals just bring up from the minor leagues, nobody's ever heard of, and sets the world on fire. He got off to a good start, but he slowed down considerably. Of course, a .400 batting average is only one way to go from there.
Full count to Neuenhuis.
Hazelbaker's still on the roster.
Hazelbaker had 8 starts in left. There's a swing and a miss. Neuenhuis down on strikes. 2 up and 2 down for Carlos Martinez, and he's racking up the Ks. Our Carsoup.com trivia: the only player from a service academy to be drafted by the Brewers, and the answer is Preston Gainey. You might not know that name, but Gainey out of the Naval Academy. He was an 11th rounder in the 2012 draft. He's still in the minor league system. Technically, he's on the Helena roster, but he's waiting for a spot to open up at the higher levels. Swing and a miss by Presley. It's quickly 0-2 on Alex.
He's got the off-speed stuff working pretty nicely. Second time through, he's got the Brewers looking fastball, and he's been able to pull the string.
No balls, 2 strikes. And the count goes to 1-2. Presley did have a hit his last time up. By the way, players to be drafted from the service academies. You got Walt French back in the 20s. Mitch Harris is on the disabled list with the Cardinals. He and Oliver Drake on the modern era. Haven't seen Mitch Harris.
No.
After that early run. Two and 2 to Presley. And that one's just inside. Martinez was running off. He's telling the home plate umpire, he's tapping his chest. My bad.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to show you up like that.
Everybody thought that was a strike except for Lance Barksdale. But it was inside. Good call, Lance. Don't let him show you up like that.
Full count with 2 away. Well, at least he recognized it quickly. You like that? There's a lot of Molina influence with this young pitcher.
The mentor, Yadier Molina. Yeah, getting these guys through games. This guy's probably his biggest challenge.
Bouncing ball to short. Aledmys Diaz will make the play. That will retire the side. The Brewers go in order in the 4th. We head to the 5th. St. Louis leading 3-0.
At Miller Park on Saturday, June 11th, as the Brewers battle the Mets. On Star Wars Day, fans who purchase a special Star Wars Day ticket package will get a Storm and Gorman Stormtrooper bobblehead. For tickets, visit Brewers.com/theme nights. Nailed that one. That's the best I've done that.
9th time's the charm.
Storm and Gorman Stormtrooper bobblehead.
I never doubted you, partner.
Yeah, took a while.
Never. Junior Guerra back on the mound. We go to the 5th inning now from Miller Park on Memorial Day. A 3-spot in the 3rd, and really an inning that shouldn't have been for Junior Guerra. He actually pitched well in that inning. Some plays that were a little out of the ordinary as Carpenter hammers one into deep right center field. That is back and is off the base of the wall. Flores up with it. Carpenter into second with a double. He is 3 for 3 against Junior Guerra today.
And he's hit 3 different pitches. Fastball, split change, and breaking pitch right here. There's a curveball that stays up in the strike zone. And Matt Carpenter, when he's seeing the baseball, he doesn't miss mistakes. And hit that one hard out into right center.
So a double to go along with 2 singles for Carpenter. And here's Aledmys Diaz now. Cardinals have 7 hits, scoring 3 runs. How do you define that 3rd inning for St. Louis? I mean, balls that probably could have been played. I think every fielder would say should have been made, but no errors charged.
Right, and Diaz, that swinging bunt. I mean, he swung it, and it was a little bit of a slow roll. It should have been, play should have been made by Hernan Perez. You had a pass ball and a strikeout. You had a missed play out and left. Just poor defense, basically. Is that properly categorized?
Not the kind of defense that shows up in the error column.
Right, only 1 error.
More like plays that weren't made, that typically are at the big league level. And it hurt Guerra. Cardinals scoring 3 runs on 4 hits in that inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes a count on Diaz.
And Brewers defensively have been pretty good. I mean, really. I mean, when you think about it, they've been pretty tight defensively. That guy's been the best defensively out there at shortstop. Chris Carter's had a big impact. He's been very good. Outfield defense good for the most part. And when you're working on very thin margins, you can't play poor defense and win games. Not often.
Little pop up toward the Brewers dugout, and that'll be in the dugout, bouncing into the seats. Only 2 of those runs in the third were earned against Guerra. So he's gone 4 innings plus 2 batters. 3 runs, 2 earned at this point. He has not walked a batter and has 5 strikeouts on the card so far today. One of those strikeouts came on that pass ball that allowed a run to score.
And that was the unearned run.
He's got a runner at second to start the 5th. Been a tough part of the order for Junior Guerra, the top of the Cardinal batting order. Carpenter and Diaz, the top 2 hitters, have 5 hits combined. Holliday, Adams, both driving in runs in the 3rd inning.
And neither one of Diaz's base hits have gone 80 feet. Carpenter a little different. He's been smoking the baseball, but hey, 2 for 2 is 2 for 2, right?
Lucroy will give it a look. That's going to end up in the front row. Right down the netting. Now the top 4 in the batting order are 7 for 11. Bottom 5 in the order now 0 for 10. Lucroy's got VR with him on the mound. They might be wanting to change the signs here.
And Carpenter, one of those guys that might be looking in and maybe relaying signs. You don't know. Not too many guys do that anymore. That was something that went on 20, 25 years ago. A few of the Brewers are really good at that at second base.
Now we'll reset it here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Guerra looking for his first out of the 5th. In the dirt. Skips away from Lucroy. Carpenter to 3rd. That is very unlike Jonathan Lucroy. It's going to be a wild pitch. Lucroy normally gobbles those up, but now runner at 3rd base with nobody out. Cardinals are knocking at the door again.
Yeah, always able to block that pitch. That's an off-speed pitch. You know, the fastballs are the difficult ones. Those are the ones that you've got to get lucky at times. But those split changes, the curveball sliders, he normally is very good at keeping those close.
Well, now he needs a strikeout. 2-2. Ground ball to short. VR with it. That's going to hold Carpenter. And there's out number 1. So Guerra able to get the out without Carpenter advancing.
Yeah, good fastball down in the zone. 95 miles an hour for Junior.
Now it's Matt Holliday. Holliday drove in a run with a double in the 3rd. That was one of those batted balls that should have been played. Presley got turned around in left field, and I beg your pardon, the Matt Adams double, I should say. Holliday hit a bullet. Hits another bullet. This one's through for a base hit. A run is in. Matt Holliday with 2 RBIs, and the Cardinals are up 4-0.
And that first pitch fastball, you get that fastball down for Holliday. He's got a pretty good chance of getting a good swing on it. It is down. It's out over the plate, and that's just bread and butter for Matt Holliday. You get that pitch up a little bit or in, up and in. It is a difficult time getting the barrel of the bat on it. But mistakes, he's going to hit hard.
And that was a mistake. So here's Adams with Holliday at first. Brewers have not lost a game that Junior Guerra has started this year. They are a perfect 5-0. He's 3-0. And they're going to have to play comeback against a hot pitcher today in Carlos Martinez. Big City, they call him. David Freese gave him that nickname. Matt Adams. There's a strike. 1-2 the count.
He's got his job back and he's swinging the bat well. He got off to a horrible start this year, and well, he's hitting .324 with 6 homers.
$18 RBIs in May in just 20 games for Matt Adams. Much slimmed down version of Matt Adams than what we've seen in the past. Still a big guy. In the air to center field. Hit pretty well. Back is Neuenhuis, and he makes the catch. Crashing up against the wall. Kirk Neuenhuis with a beautiful running catch for the second out of the inning.
Well, that ball carried pretty well. That sounded like it was off the end of the bat a little bit. It just kept going. And Neuenhuis goes all the way back, knew exactly where he was, and able to haul it in. Well, Adams gives this one a pretty good ride. A split change off the end, and Neuenhuis able to make the catch. And that's today's AT&T high-speed replay.
Timed it perfectly. It's not easy to do, to find the wall, look back up, find the ball. Guerra needed that out. 2 gone in the inning for Brandon Moss. In the lineup for Piscotty today. Some of the Cardinals writers reporting that it was food poisoning for Piscotty. We had heard it was an upset stomach. They both worked together, but food poisoning.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, food poisoning, I'm not sure he'd be sitting in the dugout right now, would he? There he is. A mild, perhaps, case of it. You ever had it?
I've had it.
Yeah. You're going to be sitting
I wasn't in that position.
No.
Like a sick dog, you just want to go and be by yourself for a little while. Moss pops it foul, and the count is 1-2. Junior Guerra, he's in a battle today with the Cardinals. St. Louis up 4-0. He's allowed 8 hits. Shift is on for Moss, and Guerra just missed. Shadows creeping out. A swing and a miss. He got him. There's that split change. Guerra with a strikeout. A run does score. And the Cardinals are up 4-0 now.
Lead for the Cardinals over the Brewers here in the 5th. And you can join the Brewers Community Foundation in their season-long effort to make a difference in our community by purchasing 50/50 raffle tickets at every home game. Proceeds will go to support nonprofit organizations in the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. One lucky fan takes home half of the game day ticket sales. Before the game, Carlos Martinez was a topic of conversation, and he's had great success against the Brewers in 4 previous starts, an earned run average of just 1.34. Craig Counsell saying no doubt he's got one of the better arms in that Cardinals rotation, and he said that with one of his high velocity, he has a good time speeding hitters up with that velocity, and the slider also very effective against right-handed hitters. He said if you can get a mistake from him, it's typically over the middle of the plate, but so far not too many mistakes by Carlos Martinez.
No, he's got 4 innings, 4 strikeouts. He has thrown a lot of pitches. The Brewers have had some long at-bats, but they haven't had success in those at-bats, specifically Jeanette and Lucroy back in the 3rd inning. So the pitch count, this will be number 63 coming. Hernan Perez takes a ball. 2-1 the count.
And that's a good point that was brought up about Carlos Martinez and that fastball, you know, 97 and 99 miles an hour. That really speeds the bat up, and then he goes to that changeup, and that's what slows you down. So you get caught in between with this guy. I'm not sure what you're getting because that changeup and fastball come out of the same slot, and then he'll drop that on you, the slider.
Martinez still wears that number 18 to honor of his late friend Oscar Taveras, who passed away after the 2014 season. There's a ground ball up the middle and a base hit that had a little extra skip on it, and Hernan Perez starts the inning with a single.
A little top spin and kind of sped up as it got into the dirt out there by second base. And check it out, big fastball down the zone and kind of scoots right by Diaz and into center field.
I think it surprised him a little bit, the way he took off towards it as if it was going to be a routine pickup. But yeah, you're right, that ball jumped into 5th gear and it ends up in center field, and the Brewers have a leadoff single here in the 5th, needing desperately to try to chip into this deficit.
The Brewers have had a leadoff hitter on 3 different innings today. Got to start cashing in.
Ramon Flores. Shot right to Diaz. And this is going to be an easy double play. Boy, he hit it right on the nose. But the defensive shifting was in place.
Not much you can do about that. And Ramon Flores hits that one as well as you can, and you can't get an easier double play than that.
Two outs, wipes out the leadoff single, and it brings the pitcher Guerra to the plate. I think Craig Counsell might have had a tough decision to make. Had Flores reached down 4-0, would he have stuck with Guerra to hit, or maybe go to a pinch hitter? Guerra lines one to third. Up the ladder goes Carpenter. Well, had a chance. Had an extra base hit, but Carpenter denies him. Heck of a play over there at the hot corner by the Cardinal third baseman.
4-0, and today's time of the game winner, Jim's Bar from Prairie du Chien. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Jim's gets 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite beer pen. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Simple and straightforward. Whose bar is it? It's Jim's Bar.
Jim's Bar in Prairie du Chien. Good fishing up there, you know.
That's what I heard.
Good buddy Dan Lipke from there. You know, Dan always says he wants to take me fishing up there, but it never seems to work out.
Yeah. What's that all about?
I don't know.
I've heard him say that before.
You want to go with me?
I think I will. That'd be a first.
You want to go with me anywhere or fish?
Both. Yadier Molina starts it for the Cardinals. I mean, I'd love to fish with a pro like you.
I've kind of lost my touch.
Ball and a strike on Molina. We start playing the 6th inning. Brewers down 4-0 on this Memorial Day across Major League Baseball. Molina in the air to center. Back is Neuenhuis. And a much easier chance on this one. One away for Junior. And that'll bring up Randal Grichuk. The equivalent of you inviting me to go fishing with you is kind of like when I tell you our threesome's full on the golf course.
Yeah, you really don't want me to go, actually?
Oh, no, I do. Is that what you feel about?
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
But I know you wouldn't go. That's the thing.
I would go. Bob Euchre's asked us to go.
Yeah.
Hired a scuba diver with a bunch of live fish to swim under the boat so I could catch a few and we could get out of there.
Make you feel better. Lake Michigan is a little tricky. I mean, yeah, it could be a little raucous out there.
Yeah, he's out there. That's where the real fishermen go, where Uke goes.
Yeah, Uke takes the boat out himself. I mean, that's how good he is.
Nice pickup at third by Perez and a spin and a throw to first. Well done. Grichuk retired.
First of all, do you have your fishing license?
No, I don't. I've never had a fishing license.
Yeah, nice play by Perez, and knows he has some time and gets the out.
My fishing and hunting days ended when I was a youth. I remember that cold day hunting for snipes.
What was it, 50?
Jeanette. And that'll end the inning. Yeah, man, that was rough sledding back in those days. No snipes to be found anywhere. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by USAA. For those who gave everything that we may breathe free, we honor you. Memorial Day in Milwaukee, the Brewers and the Cardinals. And we're headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. 4-0 St. Louis. Cardinals scored 3 of the 4 in the 3rd inning. One of those runs was unearned. Added one in the 5th inning as Jonathan Villar will lead off. It'll be Villar, Jeanette, and Lucroy to start it. 3rd time through the batting order against Martinez, who's been very good today. Working on a 3-hit shutout. There's a little tapper. Martinez up with it. No play. Base hit for Villar.
Yeah, he wasn't going to have a play anyway. A running, swinging bunt. Well, was good for the Goose, right? And then Diaz had one of those early. Breaking pitch, and Molina not able to get there, and there's no play at all for Martinez. Why even bother? Not the way Villar can run.
4 of the last 5 innings, the Brewers have had their leadoff batter reach base. They have not been able to score to this point. So Jeanette with Villar at first. Scooter's 0 for 2. He had a long battle with Martinez in the 3rd inning. It ended in a fly ball to center. Jeanette got down 0-2. He ended up working a count full. And as a hitter, Rock, you could just see it, especially in the body language of Jeanette. But you tell yourself, I need to just let it go, let it fly. But there's something in the mind that doesn't allow the swing to do what it wants to do against a guy like Martinez.
You know, hitting coaches will tell you spread out a little bit, just play pepper with a pitcher when he's throwing as hard as he is.
Jeanette got it down on the label a little bit, and a fly ball to center field for the 1st out.
But the thing about Martinez, what makes him so tough to hit, and you know, it's amazing that this guy has lost his last 5 starts. I mean, the Cubs really pound him pretty good, but you know, the combination of that big fastball and a changeup, it couldn't be a worse combination for a hitter. I mean, when you're going up there, you're looking for a pitch coming out of the hand. You're looking for spin. You're looking for curveball, slider, spin. That'll tip you off early what you're getting. But with the changeup and fastball that Martinez has, he gets you caught in between a lot.
Well, he's one of those guys that he's been established. He's been in the big moments before in the postseason. He's only 24 years of age, and he has all the stuff. Cardinals are just waiting for him to pop in a big way. Now, he was off to a great start last year. He ended up as an all-star last season. Got off to a good start this season, but May's been a different story for him in 2016. He's putting together one of his best starts in the month here today against Milwaukee.
And you figure, how can he struggle like that? Watching him pitch today. You know, the Brewers have always been one of those teams where he has a lot of confidence. I mean, we talked about all the appearances he's had. He's had a number of appearances out of the bullpen. Earned run average just a little bit over 1, so he's got a lot of confidence coming in here to Miller Park.
Lucroy in the hole, a base hit. Well, Jonathan Lucroy singles. Tried to flip a curveball up there. Lucroy was ready for it. Finds the hole. The Brewers have 2 on with 1 man out.
Well, you can see that pitch stayed up in the strike zone, and Lucroy able to just find the hole. Got it off the end a little bit, but they had him shaded up the middle and double plate depth, and able to find left field.
So 2 men on, 1 away. Here's Chris Carter. Brewers are 1 swing away from getting right back in this one. Yeah, Carter ready to pounce, but a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
And not a better guy to have at the plate just to do just that.
At the plate for Carter today, 1 out of 2. At the plate presented by Wendy's. And the count 0-2 on Martinez. There's going to be a sweet spot for Martinez, you figure, when he goes from just being a thrower to a pitcher, a thrower with great stuff to a pitcher with great stuff. And he's shown glimpses of that, certainly. And here's a guy that by the age of 23 had already had 2 seasons in the postseason, including a World Series run. He pitched in 5 games in the World Series as a reliever back in 2013. There's a swing and a miss. Carter down on strikes. Martinez makes quick work of him.
Good slider right there. Fastball, curveball, slider to get Chris Carter. And well located with 2 strikes.
So 2 men are out, 2 men are on. Here's Kirk Neuenhuis. Now, we were there in St. Louis last year when Carlos Martinez had to exit the game. Shoulder injury. Lasted just a third of an inning. That was late September. Cardinals are moving toward the postseason. Had one of their big guns lined up perfectly, and then he was lost for the rest of the season. That was September 25th. His last appearance of the year last year, and the Cardinals missed him badly in the playoffs, especially with the year he was having.
He seems to have come back from that just fine. I mean, as far as velocity, looks pretty good today.
He's got Neuenhuis 0-2. Brewers have 2 on, desperately needing to cash in. Cannot. Neuenhuis strikes out. Big fastball, 100 miles an hour from Martinez. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Merging Vets and Players, dedicated to ensuring our nation's warriors can be as productive off the field as they were on it by joining combat veterans with former athletes to form a common bond over dedication and teamwork. Visit foxsportsupports.com to learn more. Junior Guerra back on the mound. He's given up 4 runs, 3 earned through 6 innings. He's coming off one of his best innings yet, a 3-up, 3-down 6th, and he will start the 7th. Guerra's spot in the batting order is due up 4th, and the pitch count in pretty good shape. So each starter's gone 6. Martinez has been dominant, just stranded 2 runners with back-to-back strikeouts, and rocked that last strikeout pitch to Neuenhuis was triple digits.
Yeah, he reached back. He wanted that strikeout to keep the shutout alive. He's on the top of his game today, and Junior Guerra continues here in the 7th inning. He has 3 different 3-up, 3-down innings today. What might have been that 3rd inning for Junior had the defense been a little bit better. We wouldn't be looking at a 4-0 deficit. Maybe 2-0.
Pitcher against pitcher here. Martinez will bat. He's 0 for 2 today. Got another day game in this series on Wednesday. Hard hit ball right to Jeanette. And Martinez is out, 1 away.
Hey, mark your calendars for Barking Bobble Hank at Miller Park. Barking Bobble Hank Day at Miller Park next Sunday, June 12th. All fans in attendance as the Brewers close out their series against the Mets. We'll get a special barking bobblehead of Hank the ballpark pup, courtesy of Palermo's Frozen Pizza.
Craig Counsell will make a pitching change. So Guerra comes out, faces the opposing pitcher, and now Counsell will get into his bullpen. Nice hand for Guerra on his way out. He's down 4-0 though. A good start, not a great start, but he certainly kept his team in the game. 6 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs. Technically a quality start. Didn't walk a batter and 6 Ks. And he'll give way to Jan Marinez, who has been fantastic out of the Brewers bullpen.
He has been dialing it up. I mean, he can bring it up there in the mid-90s with a good slider. You know, so far this season, look at the punch outs. 9 punch outs in 5 innings. He's not only 1 hit. But the impressive number for the Brewers, I believe, is only 2 walks. Throughout his career, he's had a difficult time throwing strikes. It's never been a question for Marinez, his ability to, you know, he has the stuff. It's just a matter of throwing enough strikes to be successful, and he's been able to do that so far.
Well, Craig Counsell will get a chance to find out how good Marinez is facing the top of this Cardinal batting order. It'll be his 7th game. Started the year with the Tampa Bay Rays, was let go in early May, taken off their major league roster, and then the Brewers were able to claim him, sign him. And he went over 2 weeks without pitching. That's what was so impressive about his outing in New York. Pitched across a couple of innings. He struck out 4. And not to be outdone, he had maybe the best outing by a reliever all season in Atlanta, when he got a couple of outs in the 6th inning and then sat through an hour and 17-minute rain delay. And in real time, it was actually a little over an hour and a half between pitches. He came back out and put up a 0 in the next inning, in the 7th.
Good stuff.
I think at that moment, Marinez instantly became a part of this club and got great respect throughout the bullpen and the rest of the clubhouse.
Yeah, on a night when the big 3 out of the bullpen not available. That was the most impressive part of that whole thing.
That was the last game in Atlanta.
Blazek, Thornburg, Jeffress, all three of them down that night. Torres would come in and finish it.
No balls, 2 strikes on Carpenter. 1-2 now. Sophia interviewed Carlos Torres after the game. He got to save that game, and his first response was, after seeing what Marinez did before me, I had no choice but to go up there and give my best effort, give a great effort. He went 2 innings for the save in that game. In the air to right, back on it, Flores at the track. That's over his head. And Matt Carpenter is having a huge day here at Miller Park. His 4th hit, his 2nd double.
And every one of his hits have come pretty much in the same spot in the field, left, right, center. Yep, got the fastball and a 1-2 count. And gives it a ride. Boy, he's seeing it well today. And Flores getting to the wall. I wasn't sure he knew where he was, because had he been able to determine where he was, he might have been able to catch that baseball, but would have been a tough catch.
Carpenter 4 for 4. He's at 2nd with 1 out. Boy, the top of this order, the first 4 batters in this Cardinal batting order have done big damage today. Carpenter has 4 hits. This hitter, Aledmys Diaz, is 2 for 3 with a run scored. Holliday's driven in 2 on 2 hits. And Adams has an RBI double. All 9 hits in the top 4 in the batting order for St. Louis.
Have you ever seen Carpenter not swing the bat well? I mean, you hear stories. I mean, the Cardinals come into town, and you know there have been times where well, Carpenter's really not swinging it all that well. Holliday, it's just that we just don't see that. I mean, those 2 guys are always swinging the bat well here.
Carpenter had come into this game 0 for his last 8, and a low batting average by his standards at 241.
And that Nationals pitching staff's a pretty good one.
Yeah, good point. Strasburg yesterday beat St. Louis. A ball and 2 strikes. Got a runner at 2nd with 1 out. Marinez. And that skips away from Lucroy. He can't find it, and Carpenter is going to try to score. Here's the play. Carpenter's in. Man, oh man. 2 bases and a run scored on a wild pitch. 5-0 St. Louis. That's a gut punch there.
Yeah, slider getting away from Luke and just didn't know where it was. I mean, when you're in that spot, you got to look at the pitcher. Pitcher's going to be pointing at the baseball. And by the time Lucroy realizes where the baseball is, too late, and Carpenter able to score on a wild pitch from 2nd base.
And the count goes to 3-2.
Always look at your pitcher when you can't find the baseball. You're catching, you block a ball, you got the mask on, you might not be able to find it right away. And look at the pitcher, he'll be pointing at it.
Shaping up to be one of those days for the Brewers. Now down 5. And a dominant pitcher on the mound. There's a called strike 3. Marinez punches out Diaz. Out number 2. First strikeout for Marinez. And here comes Matt Holliday now. Holliday has barreled up the last 2 at-bats. He's hit 2 bullets. One of them was in and out of the glove of Perez at 3rd. An RBI single. And then last time up, he singled to center field on a rocket back through the box. And Holliday turns that one around. That is way gone. A tape measure home run for Matt Holliday. His third hit. Cardinals are up 6-0. Home run number 9 for Holliday. That's one of the longest of the year at Miller Park.
Yeah, got out of here like a shot. Fastball from Marinez out away from Holliday, and check it out. And location, you don't want to leave one out over the plate to Matt Holliday, and Lucroy setting up inside, and Marinez missed his spot, and Holliday hit it a ton. Way back out there in left center.
Wow, that went over the bleachers out there in the Loge level. That's 450 plus out in that range. Yikes. 6-0 St. Louis on their 10th hit. Here's Matt Adams with 2 outs. Well, the Cardinals got 3 in the 3rd, added 1 in the 5th, and now 2 here in the 7th. And Carlos Martinez on the mound for St. Louis, cruising along with a 5-hit shutout through the first 6 innings. Night game tomorrow between these two teams. Willie Peralta and Mike Leake on the mound. That's a 6:30 airtime, 7:10 first pitch, and then Wednesday's game starts at 12:40. Little Wednesday matinee. Jaime Garcia and Zach Davies.
And then off to Philadelphia.
4 games in Philly, Thursday through Sunday, and then right back to Miller Park. Got the A's coming in, right?
Yeah.
Got the A's and the Mets here on the next homestand. It'll be 6 games, but 2 of those with Oakland, and then a 4-game series with the Mets. A lot of home baseball coming up in this stretch. Brewers with a record of 23-27. Council's been pleased with their play. Feels like there are a few more steps to take with this group, though, and a little slow roller. Got plenty of time here. Perez makes the play to end the inning. Side retired, but the Cardinals score twice, and they now lead at 6-0. Memorial Day, we turn it over to our friends in the PA booth. Miller Park's presentation of God Bless America. Enjoy.
Kozlowski from the Brewers Guest Services.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Brewers fans, it's time to stand up and stretch it out during the
Thankful to be an American. Thankful for all the people that fought for us, before us, that went before us, and we just love y'all. So blessed, so thankful.
I make it a personal mission just not to make it one day a year, but make it every day of the year to thank them and to be thankful and just be grateful for what they did.
Great words from Blaine Boyer and Jonathan Lucroy, and we appreciate them taking a little time as we celebrate Memorial Day today. Jeremy Hazelbaker is in for the Cardinals. Matt Holliday just launched one out of here to make it 6-0. And Mike Matheny's going to tighten up his defense. Feels good about where he is in this game, especially with his pitcher on the mound, Carlos Martinez. A shutout through the first 6, facing the bottom of the Brewers order. And that's a great day to use the platform of Major League Baseball to not just remember those who fought and have perished, but also to get involved currently with military charities. Our friends at the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight are always high on our list as Presley strikes out. And on this Memorial Day, USAA honors our fallen soldiers. It's one of those markers in baseball. Take a look at the records at this time of the year, and it's one of the big early holidays. But more importantly, it's a time to realize what we have in front of us here and the opportunity to gather nearly 35,000, enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy, watch this great game. But so many lost their lives fighting for that freedom, and it's important to keep that front and central. So if you're sitting at home watching and you've got your kids around, and it's a great day to educate them as well on what this day means.
Sometimes it can be an attitude check too. I mean, sometimes we get wrapped up in what's going on a daily basis. You forget about what's important. I know we're all guilty of that sometimes, and think about those that have sacrificed to allow us to do what we do.
High throw, and safe is the call. So the Brewers get a break. Carpenter with an error, his 8th error of the season.
Yeah, 2 errors today for the Cardinals, and they continue to kick the ball around pretty good this year. Now 46 errors leading all of baseball. Yeah, pretty routine play, just a terrible throw, and Matt Adams had a rough time over there today. He has not gotten much help from his infield.
Well, the Cardinals for so long just identify themselves with good pitching and defense, and their defense has really struggled this year. It is very unusual to see the St. Louis Cardinals down near the bottom of the defensive stats in the National League. Their pitching's been a little iffy this year too, but I think one leads to the other.
Right.
Cardinals are scoring some runs this season. It's going to be an interesting couple of months in St. Louis. Trade deadline is at the end of July. The Chicago Cubs are out to this great start. Cardinals are behind the Pirates and the Cubs in the division. It's a franchise that expects to contend every year. They're a game over 500 coming into play today, and I'm sure they're going to have to make some hard decisions if they don't start to play a lot better, and it's going to require much improved play if you're going to make it out of this division, certainly.
Well, the Cardinals probably think they still have a shot maybe to get into a wild card situation. I mean, if you look at the records in the National League, the Cardinals aren't too far away from getting into that mix. I mean, right now the Mets would have the first wild card along with the Pirates.
Broken bat, Flores. It's a flip to second and a double play to end the inning, and Martinez is just laying them down. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Kurt Neuenhuis will move over to right field. Brewers make a couple of changes, getting Keon Broxton some playing time. And Counsell going for a double switch here with David Goforth on the mound. Maybe try to pick up a couple of innings as we go to the St. Louis half of the 8th. And it has been all Cardinals today. 8-0, I beg your pardon, 6-0 is the score as Goforth begins the 8th inning.
His numbers for the season up and down a couple of times. 6th appearance, a big earned run average so far. Last pitched on Saturday here at Miller Park against the Reds. Faced one batter, got him out. That was Billy Hamilton. Stranded a couple of base runners. Got called back up on Thursday. 13 games down in Colorado Springs and an earned run average just under 4.
David Goforth out of Ole Miss, and a swing and a miss by Moss. Carlos Martinez is the story today for the Cardinals. He's got a 5-hit shutout. Just induced his 3rd double play ball of the game, wiping out a base runner in Perez, who reached on an error. Talk about picking up your defense. That's the best way to do it. Cardinals have out hit the Brewers 10-5 and 6 runs in, including 2 in the 7th. Holliday belted his 9th homer of the year. Got a bunch of games coming in final now. We're getting close to a final. 2 of them are in. The Giants and the Braves played in Atlanta, and Atlanta won that game. As Moss strikes out, Goforth gets a K, his first batter face.
Yeah, that's 4 for Brandon Moss today. Rough day at the office for the St. Louis right fielder.
So 1 away, and here comes Molina. The significance of Atlanta beating the Giants at home, it's only their 5th win of the year at home.
And they've been winning some games at home, because when the Brewers were there, they only had 2 wins.
Right. They just won a series on the Mets. They took 2 out of 3, I beg your pardon, from the Marlins. They were 2-21 at one point. They set a major league record for losses at home in the first 20 games of a season. Well, remember how good we thought Foltynewicz looked, and you know, a guy that's got an upside that you're thinking he's got a chance to be an ace.
Right.
Mike Foltynewicz pitched well today, and the Braves beat Jeff Samardzija and the Giants today. Foltynewicz went 6 innings, just 1 run. The other final in the big leagues, the New York Mets, and this will be one of the headlines of the day. The Mets shut out the White Sox, a 2-hit shutout, and it was Matt Harvey's day to pitch today. And Harvey went 7 shutout innings. There's been a lot of discussion about Matt Harvey, and talking about skipping him in the rotation, maybe sending him to the minor leagues. This is all the chatter for baseball fans in New York. Well, Harvey silenced all of that with his outing today. And he was throwing hard today by all accounts. So the White Sox continue their slide.
Yeah, they're in a funk right now. They lost 7 straight. They're in 3rd place in that division.
The Kansas City Royals open the day in 1st place, having won 3 in a row and beating the White Sox in improbable fashion. There's a backhand by Jeanette. He has time with Molina running, and there is out number 2. Good play. Scooter on the backhand, and a 4-3 putout.
And nice soft hands, and realizing he has all kinds of time because Molina, right as soon as he caught that ball, just barely stopped. But he did reach first base. Can't blame him. Guy leads the league in innings caught, right? Guy works hard.
Here's Randal Grichuk.
Can't be too hard on him.
You can, but he's in the catching fraternity, so you're not. But you do understand it. He's one of the few guys that gets a pass.
There's not many, but Yadier Molina, you bet.
Grichuk pops it up. Who wants it? VR is calling. And that'll retire the side. Good inning for Goforth. Good to see him back in the big leagues. He retires the side in order. We'll see Keon Broxton lead off.
Happy, even though those two beer tappers are turned off behind him. It's after the 7th inning now, going to the bottom of the 8th. We're getting set for Brewers Live postgame. Unfortunately, Milwaukee's offense, nothing to speak of today, but Junior Guerra, quality start, and that long 3rd inning where some outs that should have been made.
Yeah, there's some tough plays, and a couple plays would have been made, but have changed the ball game. But he continues to go out and keep the team in the ball game. Just pitching, just giving up the 3 earned runs in 6 innings.
All right, we'll hope to catch up with Junior Guerra, Craig Counsell, the Brewers, to see if the big rally's in place here on Memorial Day. BA.
All right, Craig, thanks. How does Craig know the beer tappers are turned off?
He's out there.
He's got a sense, doesn't he?
He's out there.
He has a nose for such things.
I mean, what exactly is he doing between the beginning of the game until the 8th?
He seemed awful jolly in that 8th inning report. Bottom of the 8th here. Martinez still rolling. He's got a shutout. Only 5 hits allowed. He's gotten 3 double plays, and he makes quick work of Keon Broxton for out number 1.
Hey, the action continues right here at Miller Park tomorrow night as the Brewers and the Cardinals meet in game 2 of their 3-game series before wrapping up on Wednesday afternoon. Great seats are still available at Brewers.com.
Eight strikeouts for Martinez. Top of the order now, VR. Slow breaking ball in there. He's had it all going. I mean, Martinez, when he shows this kind of stuff, this kind of poise on the mound, I mean, you're talking about a guy who could win a Cy Young Award at some point in his career. It's electric.
Yeah.
A 100-mile-an-hour fastball as his top speed today.
You just can't, shake that inconsistency. We talked about how good he was to start the season, then went into the tank, and he's back now. He's throwing well.
Still bringing it at 97 as we play in the 8th inning here. It's been as slow as 73 miles an hour. VR in the air, high fly ball to center. And GRICHUK in the sun will make the catch for out number 2. That'll bring up Scooter Gennett. No Ryan Braun in the lineup once again today. Hopefully he's going to be back tomorrow. He's dealing with a bad neck. He's got a strain in his neck, and it's knocked him out of the last 3 starts. This Brewers lineup changes dramatically without Braun in there.
No kidding. That's a big hole in that batting order. And I think Rick Counts, like to get him back in there soon.
Scooter, he is 0 for 3. And he pulls that one right to Adams. Hit it hard, but right at the big first baseman. And Martinez has a chance to finish this one today. He's rolling. Got a shutout through 8. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. And we're headed to the 9th inning, and we went to break saying Martinez had a chance to finish this one, but those reactions would tell you that he's done. And the Cardinals have activity in their bullpen, and it's going to be 8 shutout for Carlos Martinez against the Brewers today, in line for a victory today.
His bad stretch is over.
8 innings, 5 hits, no runs, and 8 punch-outs. It's to see Maldonado in the game to catch. David Goforth back out for his 2nd inning. Retired the Cardinals in order in the 8th. And he'll face Colton Wong to start it. Now, one thing that Mike Matheny probably considering here, Trevor Rosenthal, his closer, has had a period of inactivity. They're having a hard time getting him on the field. The Cardinals are winning a lot of blowout games, but they're losing in blowout fashion as well. And the save attempts are down for Trevor Rosenthal. Wong beats the shift, bangs one through for a single. First hit allowed by Goforth, and it's a leadoff hit in the 9th.
Yeah, first hit by Wong, who's able to sneak one into the hole. Hey, Goforth with good velocity. He's got the fastball, the curve, or the slider. He doesn't have much of a changeup. I mean, he will flip up a curveball from time to time, but he's basically a two-pitch guy, which is why he has always worked out of the bullpen.
Pinch hitter is Greg Garcia. So now Martinez officially out of the game. Well, we saw a game on Friday. Last Friday, Kansas City Royals were down 7-1 to the White Sox going to the 9th inning. It can happen. That's the most important piece for the Brewers. Get that guy out of the game.
Right. Anybody else is going to look pretty good.
2 balls and a strike on Garcia.
Well, that wasn't the 9th inning, but the Cincinnati Reds had a big comeback on Saturday. Down 5 runs.
7th inning.
Yeah.
Broken bat, little flare. Broxton coming in, can't get it. Base hit. Garcia now 2 for 2 as a pinch hitter this year. 2 on with nobody out. Back at it tomorrow night. Fox Sports Wisconsin, 6:30 airtime for a 7:10 first pitch. Mike Leake against Willie Peralta. Our Miller Lite. What's on tap?
Yeah, Willie got a win his last time out against the Braves. 2 runs in 5 1/3.
Here's Matt Carpenter, 4 for 4 today, and 2 doubles. And if you're going by the spray charts, the Brewers would put all 7 of their position players, they put them all into right center field.
Right.
Every one of them.
Every one of his hits have gone right there.
That's what I would do, according to the spray charts.
All of them?
Put all the outfielders in the same cluster in right center.
Nobody in the infield?
Nope. Take those guys, move them out into the outfield too. And that.
What about the base runners? Just let them run?
Well, just trying to get Carpenter out at this point.
Oh, okay.
Whatever happens to the base runners is not of my concern.
I got you.
I'm not in the run prevention unit. I'm in the Matt Carpenter prevention 5th hit unit.
Yeah, get him out unit.
Or if you want to really be bold, do what Satchel Paige used to do in the barnstorming leagues. He'd tell all of his position players to go sit in the dugout. Just he and the catcher. And then he'd strike a guy out. And that would be bold.
Yeah, that would
be entertaining, though. One ball, 2 strikes on Matt Carpenter. Ooh, nice pick back there by Maldonado. Where are we at with the Maldonado gear today, Rock?
Big fan.
Okay.
Yeah, he told me a couple of days ago he had some surprises in store for us on Memorial Day, and there you go. Shin guards, chest protector.
I can't see his knees. Well, Carpenter in a 2-2 count. I think 3 of his hits today have come on a 2-strike pitch. And he's out. Foul tip into the mitt.
Yeah, you're right. He should have sent all of his
That's what I'm saying.
fielders in the dugout.
You didn't need any of them. Anybody could have saw that coming. It's all analytics.
And good breaking pitch going down, and looks like a foul tip that Maldonado was able to hold on to. For out number 1. Now the double play.
Exactly. Bring all the infielders in, or the outfielders, I mean. Let them play in the infield. I call it rockalytics. Aledmus Diaz. Not a big cut, but he's down 0-2. Diaz with 2 infield hits today. 2 for 4. And down he goes. Another strikeout for Goforth. Another batter with no need for fielders.
Able to elevate the fastball that time up and in. It wasn't supposed to be there. Look at Maldonado. He's setting up on the outside corner. And sometimes you don't have to hit your spots when you go down and away to up and in. Up and in, not a bad spot.
This is the time to bring them all in. He's got the strikeout game going. Hazelbaker's first at bat. This is the guy that was lighting the world on fire early in the season.
Just unconscious, swinging a bat so well. And you see what he did against the Brewers back at Busch Stadium in April. 7 for 12.
Had a home run in that series. He was so good. Matheny rode his hot bat and sat Matt Adams down. 0-2 the count. Goforth looks right at home in that camo hat, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Happy to be back in the big leagues. Brewers are going to get 2 pitchers back soon in the bullpen. So Goforth knows these are important outings for him. Will Smith close to coming back, and Corey Knebel is going out on a rehab tomorrow. That's it. He struck him out. Told you, don't need the fielders. Rockalytics comes up big again. Story for the Brewers as we check the Powerball home run count. 33 in the month of May for the Milwaukee Brewers. Aaron Hill had a couple in the same game against the Reds on Friday. Chris Carter leads the team with 13. That was his last home run in New York a couple of Fridays ago. And Ryan Braun has been out of the lineup, still second on the team with 9. Lucroy had homers in back-to-back games. The Powerball home run leaderboard. Greg Garcia will stay in to play third after his pinch hit single in the top of this inning. And it's going to be Trevor Rosenthal, the Cardinal closer. Check it out, Rock. Just 9 save appearances this year for Rosenthal.
Yeah, he has blown one. Still a very good earned run average, but this is his first appearance since May 25th. I mean, that's 5 days ago. And against the Cubs, a scoreless inning, a couple of strikeouts.
Have not been able to get him on the field. So Mike Matheny gives him an inning here. Maldonado leads off for the Brewers. Is that a hard decision for a manager? Typically, when a pitcher has a shutout, you let it ride.
Yeah.
Pitch count was in good shape for Martinez.
Well, I think the more important thing, I think Matheny wanted to get his closer some work. You can't have your closer sitting around that long without, being able to get some innings in. And he starts Maldonado with a strikeout.
So the question is, does he make that same move if it's Adam Wainwright on the mound?
No. Not even close. No. Wainwright wouldn't let him take him out. He's got that right. He's in that position.
Speaking of books, by the way, when we've mentioned Rock's book, If These Walls Could Talk, it's a terrific book. But I'll tell you, Mike Matheny's got a book out, and it's been out a few years. It's fantastic. It's called the Matheny Manifesto. And if you're involved at all or have a child involved at all in youth sports, if you're coaching youth sports, it is an absolute must. I'm sure you can just Google it. It's everywhere. They've sold a bunch of copies, and Matheny has put his heart into it. He believes every word he says, and it's one of the best books I've read on the subject of youth sports and his approach to it.
I read it. You're right. I mean, every parent that has a kid involved in youth sports should get a copy, check it out, listen to or kind of get a sense for what his thoughts are. I agree with him. Sometimes parents go a little overboard. Not always, sometimes.
It's getting worse. Chris Carter trying to break free here. He does have a hit today. He's 1 for 3. Trevor Rosenthal pitching in the 9th with the Brewers down 6. So interesting that you look at the Brewers situation, and Jeremy Jeffress has pitched so much that Counsell couldn't use his closer in a save situation yesterday. As Rosenthal strikes out Carter. And then on the other side, you got the Cardinals, who can't hardly find a spot for their closer. That's the way it goes sometimes. And as soon as you get a guy work, right, every manager's fear is we're going to have 5-6 games in a row that are close save situations, and no manager wants to have somebody other than his closer roll out in a save situation.
Right.
So a little easier for Counsell to do it with a first-year closer in Jeremy Jeffress compared to Trevor Rosenthal, an established closer.
Yeah, but he doesn't pitch today, then it's 6 days, and then not tomorrow, it's 7 days. You just can't do that to your best reliever. You got to get him some work.
Three balls, no strikes on Neuenhuis. 2 outs, 9th inning. Brewers down 6-0. Carlos Martinez an out away from his first win of the month of May. Had been 0-5 and a high ERA this month. All changed today, though. 8 shutout innings with 8 strikeouts. Only 5 hits.
And continued success against Milwaukee.
3-1 to Neuenhuis, and a foul ball off the mask of Molina. Don't forget, tomorrow night game, the only night game remaining. Day game Wednesday, 12:40 start. Full count. Neuenhuis takes ball 4. Well, the Brewers need 5 more just like him to have a shot. Alex Presley will bat now. There's a strike. Rosenthal just pouring in the fastballs at this point.
Yeah, Rosenthal has a good changeup. Not as good as the one we saw from Martinez, but still a pretty good one.
And it's 0-2 on Presley on cue.
There's one right there, yeah. Maybe it is as good.
It's about the same velocity, actually.
Yeah.
And that's it. A strikeout ends it. The Cardinals win the opener of this series. 6-0 the final score as Carlos Martinez goes 8 shutout. Matt Carpenter 4 hits today, including 2 doubles. He scored 3 runs. Martinez over Guerra. First loss for Junior Guerra of his big league career. Brewers shutout for the 4th time. Time now for Brewers Live, a special Memorial Day edition. We send it out to Craig Cashon. Take it away, Craiger.
Okay, BA, nice job with Rock here today. Unfortunately, the Brewers fall. They got shut out. We'll review this game here from Craig Counsell and the crew. Get down on the field and get you set up for tomorrow, game 2. Brewers will try to even things up there. Brewers Live post game on the way here on this Memorial Day.